Good to go.
We are not live yet.
No?
No.
Maybe that will do it there.
You have the welcome screen still up.
Yeah, I know. They can hear us too.
Oh, okay.
All right. We'll go like this for now. All right. Is it live over there yet?
Yep.
All right. How is everybody doing? Sorry, that it always takes me like 2 or 3 minutes to get this thing rolling. But anyways, we're back to do another installment of The Sense of Vinyl. And for you guys that don't know what that is, maybe this is your first time jumping on. It's kind of a collaboration between the vinyl community and the fragrance community. And as the table turns, who's on the camera is my brother. And we were in the car one day and we're having a discussion, and he's a member of the vinyl community, or the VC, and I'm part of the fragrance community, or Fragcomm. And we started talking about a lot of the similarities between music and fragrance. And so we thought, hey, why don't we just do a live and kind of talk about that, and talk about some, maybe we can scent, he could give me some albums and I could scent those albums. And then on other occasions, maybe I could send him fragrances and then he would pair them up with albums. So we've kind of just been doing that. And then recently we've been bringing on guests that would, be part of it. We took some recommendations. We had an East Coast hip hop night that we did, where we covered the debut albums of Biggie and Jay-Z and Nas, right?
Yep.
And anyways, so yeah, that's what we do. We're gonna jump into it tonight. We're gonna be covering neo soul / R&B, and I'm super stoked. I've been wanting to kind of, the guest that we're having is a gentleman. He's a really cool dude. To me, he kind of straddles both worlds of the vinyl world and fragrance world. Because I remember being on lives of his, and he would be opening up albums and throwing them on, and a huge part of his life was the new albums he was getting in, and I just thought, that's the guy we have to have on for this series. So I've invited him, and that is his name is Roman, or in the fragrance community he goes by the tag. He smells like Rome. So I'm gonna bring him in, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself here.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Blessed to be here. Thank you guys for having me, man.
Yeah,
thank you.
bro. So, Roman, I don't know if you know, this is my brother, and I don't know if you caught that part, but his name is Carlos, and he's very involved in the vinyl community.
I see up there you got a turntable.
Oh, yeah.
But we already cool then, my man.
Yeah.
So, Carl, I'll let you start and just talk a little bit about it, and then we'll go to Roman and have him kind of introduce himself a little bit more.
Yeah. So vinyl community is very much just like the fragrance community, in that we just talk about vinyl, we talk about records, we talk about music. And yeah, so like my brother said, the reason why we came up with this is because we felt like, or at least I felt like, I know smell is attached to memories, and I feel like music does the same thing. it kind of takes you back. You hear a song from when you were a child, and it takes you back to that time. So, so yeah, that's kind of why we wanted to do this. And yeah, we've just been kind of going through different genres. So it's been really fun. But yeah, glad to have Ramon on right now, and go ahead and talk about what's up with you.
Well, thank you guys again for inviting me to your channel. I appreciate it. So,
Absolutely.
for those who don't know me, I am a fragrance reviewer. I've been doing that for the better part of 15 years, collecting vinyl for probably around the same amount of time. And this hobby, both can get a little crazy, but you know, it's a rabbit hole that I'm happy to dive into.
Yeah.
Fragrance reviewing and collecting, that's a kind of a different type of passion. Like you said, smells invoke memory. It has a story behind everything, but music that attaches to your soul. And I think that the thing for me that kind of meshed them together is that my parents were into both. My dad and mom were heavily into R&B music and disco music, and my dad was heavily into cologne. So, having that always in my life, I was like, yeah, of course I'm doing this now. So.
Very cool.
Awesome. That's cool. One thing that I like when we were discussing, getting this thing started, is the idea of even like notes, right? Like notes in perfume, and then you have the notes and keys and all that in music. So even some of the structuring is kind of, or the verbiage on that is similar. Roman, can you share with us what kind of like your channel, what you focus on with regards to fragrances?
Oh, sure. Okay, so most people don't know me by my government name. Most people know me by Rome.
Right.
You guys actually, thank you for pronouncing my name right. I appreciate that, because I'll get Raymond often. But my channel, it focuses on niche fragrances that aren't super hyped. I try to really involve myself with introducing people to independent fragrance brands, and also quality fragrances. It can range from affordable, relatively speaking, $100 to $1,200. But I try my best to stay away from things that are consistently pushed in your face that is said to be quality, when it's just kind of, once again, like a hype thing. So
yeah,
I love fragrances to a point where I want to know who the perfumer is, what was their inspiration, who the owner of the company is. Are they in it for the money, or are they actually passionate about this stuff? And those are pretty much the ones I even involve myself with, business side, or I just support them because they you can see the glow in their eye that they love making creations that last a lifetime. So if you look at my collection, you'll probably know maybe 10 popular brands out of the maybe 70 that I have. But most of them, you'll probably be like, what's that? So
yeah,
that's my avenue.
Yeah, that's one thing that I really like. I don't know if I've ever told you this, but you're like a huge kind of inspiration for me, because I've kind of built my collection in the same vein.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely I look for houses that no one's talking about, and in fact, if something is getting hyped, I won't even try it for 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
So I think you and Fragrance Journey are two people that, like, you guys kind of do that. You guys are always bringing up these new outside of the box fragrances. And yeah, you guys have been a huge inspiration. And I've kind of, you guys, I would love, there's a couple brands. I think there's a one called Graham and Pot that you and man, I want to try that brand so bad. Every time I hear you talk about it, like I actually salivate a little bit. And
I'll
so
hook you up. I'll send you some samples. I got
no,
four fragrances from them right now. They're really good, but I got you.
yeah. Just so if you guys aren't following, He Smells Like Rome, go give him a follow on YouTube. You probably have way more followers than me, but on Instagram for those people that follow me.
Yeah. Please, I'll take whatever I can get.
Yeah. Cool. So how we're gonna do this is we're gonna present an album, and I'll give Carlos an opportunity to present an album. He's gonna talk a little bit about that album, some of the details on it. He's gonna play a couple tracks, and then we're gonna get into Rome and myself have paired fragrances with each of those albums, and then we're gonna share kind of why we paired those with those albums, and we all have samples, I think, of the same thing, except Carlos's samples that I sent out somehow got stuck in Aurora, Colorado.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So he don't have mine. So he said that basically whatever I say, like you have to either say if I'm full of crap or if I hit the nail on the head.
Okay. I mean, but that's kind of it's subjective though, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So subject with me, please.
Okay.
All right. So what we're gonna start out with is Pale J, the Celestial Sweet is the name of the album.
So I'll share a screen.
Did you want to share a screen? Do you want to talk about the album a little bit first?
Oh, yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So Pale J, he's a relatively new artist. This is his EP that he put out in 2021. And yeah, he wears this mask, so you don't really know what he looks like or anything like that. So kind of mysterious, but I think he does it more in a joking manner. Has this mask on, but yeah, very cool. Kind of like a soul vibe, but very much R&B as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just very well produced. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it. We would just probably listen to it. To get into it here. So. I like the little videos they put on the side here. He's like dancing over there.
It's a shame, it's a shame, it's a shame.
Yeah, that's Pale J.
It wasn't coming through quite as good as it did last time, but
Oh, really? Okay.
it's okay.
Can you
But
guys hear me?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Rome, we'll start with you, and we'd love to hear what your impressions of the album were, what kind of vibes you got from it, and
I enjoyed the album. The vibe was, it was kind of, if you guys remember, kind of like the 70s Temptations or the Stylistics, that one guy that can sing with that high pitched voice.
Yeah, the falsetto.
Yeah. That I really enjoy that, and the kind of mixture between hip hop and neo soul kind of vibe it had.
Yeah.
It was really cool. I mean, I don't think I disliked any of the songs on that album. I think I liked each one. They all kind of almost had a relay, like passing baton of keeping that same tempo.
Yeah.
But the song, or I would say the two songs that I really liked on that song was um, Magnolia Tree and Shameful Game.
Yeah.
Um, but I didn't. I only picked one from that album to kind of pair with the fragrance, and that was Magnolia Tree. Now this is going to be kind of, you gotta just stay with me.
Yeah.
So the Magnolia Tree song definitely kind of gave me the spring vibe, right? It had me thinking not only of Magnolia Tree, I don't know why, but it had me thinking of like just florals and like a sweet kind of romantic vibe, right? And the first thing I was thinking of, I was like, damn, do I have any fragrances with Magnolia? And my wife has a ton. And I'm like, yeah, so Magnolia is going to really vibe with what I'm going with. But Venus is the fragrance I pair with it, because Venus has that beautiful contrast between white florals and a unique sweetness that doesn't make it seem super feminine. It has a vanilla mixed with, you know, jasmine and tuberose, but there is a soft warmness that comes in during the mid and the dry down that made me pick this over, like, I think right now, excuse me, I didn't even tell you the brand. The brand is Nicheend Perfumes, a new fragrance house. Um, I think they're from the Netherlands, and this one, I mean, just blew my mind away. And I paired it with that one because of that kind of, like I said, that spring vibe I got with that vibe of just sitting on the like a magnolia tree, or sitting by, you know, a bed of florals,
Yeah.
chilling with, you know, whoever your significant other, you know, maybe even just having a picnic with some like sweet desserts around it. So that's why I paired it with this one.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's a super smooth. Even the woods in it are super smooth, like smoothed out, clean woods.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's nice.
I
actually seen your video when you went through all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you talking about that one.
Yeah, this one I would say, if anybody's looking at the notes, right, especially guys, you guys are going to be like, nah, I'm not, no,
Right.
because it's just hit with like at least 5 different florals, but it is absolutely unisex.
Oh yeah.
That woody tone and that vanilla is definitely what guys are going to go towards. I don't think any guy really hates jasmine. It just once you tell someone it's jasmine in the fragrance, they're gonna be like, oh, it's most likely gonna be for a female.
Mm.
Right, right.
Trust me. And
Those
that
are
song,
nice
I
bottles.
really like that song.
Those are nice bottles too, man.
Yeah, I love their bottles, and I'm glad that they didn't drop like $400 or $500 for a bottle. You know,
What do they run, if you don't mind me asking?
I think they are like 290.
Okay,
Yeah, like 290 for the bottle.
that's
Which
very
which
reasonable.
Max Aroma has them, so you know Max Aroma, that website usually has some like 10-15% sale off of there.
Yeah,
I would tell you guys also, whoever's watching, um, go to their Instagram page and DM them. You know, they're kind of hands on with everything, so you probably can get a cool hookup from them.
and are they a fairly new house, right?
Yeah, they came out in 2023.
Okay,
Oh wow.
23 or 22. Two young guys, two brothers. I think they're probably maybe 30.
that's
Wow.
dope.
That's another thing I like about the house too. Is it's some young, innovative guys that aren't going to go away in 2 years.
Right, very good. So I picked up like a lot of like similarities. Like you mentioned the Temptations, and I thought of the Delphonics and that guy that sang really high. And I just remember I used to be an oldies fan, and so I actually got a chance to go see the Delphonics, and that's kind of what this reminded me of. Except it had this kind of, you could tell it was newer, had that neo kind of soul sound, but the voice was reminiscent, and then it had a very smooth kind of quality to it, kind of like the Delphonics had. I would say that they were a much more, during that time, I don't want to say polished, but they were definitely more smooth when it came to that kind of thing.
You don't see a lot of people doing that anymore.
What was that?
You don't hear a lot of artists doing that kind of high falsetto or that high pitch
Yeah.
kind of tonation.
Yeah, it's so true. So I ended up pairing it with this fragrance, and it's called I Patchouli.
Ah, okay.
I Patchouli by IOKO 1954.
Okay.
And this is
it.
Yeah, man, it's cool. It has a frosted glass down it.
Yeah.
So this is an Italian house, and it was created, I think, let me double check. They started in 2017, and the guy behind it is Enzo Gallardi. So he was like behind Bois 1920, that brand. He was behind Profumo de Firenze, and so he's had his hand in kind of doing, in a lot of Italian brands that were out there. He wanted to get more creative, so he created this line. There's only 8 fragrances of these, and I guess it's a whole house that has only 8 fragrances.
Is the bottle frosted?
Yeah. So it's
okay. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's dope.
Right,
It's
I'm gonna.
nice.
You know how hard it was not to smell these for 3 days.
Oh.
Okay, so let me smell this.
So the notes on this one are cedar, mandarin, eucalyptus, patchouli, incense, precious woods, labdanum, tobacco, amber, and benzoin.
Ooh.
And so the reason I picked this one is to me, on my skin at least, it's kind of sparkly and bright at the top. It's a patchouli and this is my favorite patchouli fragrance, second to the one from Javoy, psychedelic, I guess.
Okay.
But I really like the journey this takes you on. So it starts out really bright and kind of, like I said, almost sparkly to me, and that kind of matched that melodic sound of the album. And then it really boils down to this warm ambery base that I didn't see coming. I'm like, there's no way this is going to be as beautifully like a beautiful amber base, and it really does turn into that. And again, that took me back to like the Delphonics and all that. So
I definitely get that it's almost, the brightness is absolutely there, but it's almost like is it bergamot or a sweet lemon?
Mandarin.
Mandarin, okay.
Yeah.
But the patchouli is right there. That earthy patchouli. This is a sweeter patchouli. Oh, I like that, man. I really like that.
So okay, does that match or not?
Yeah, I can. Yes, I can see, because it that how do I put it? The whole vibe of the album is super chill, but there is kind of this real uplifting vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So having that, I guess, the opening being an eye opener, but that patchouli is very calming, and patchouli isn't usually like that.
No, and what I think pulls that off, I think it's the patchouli and the eucalyptus together that make it kind of calm it down a little bit.
And amber, okay, I'm getting amber now too.
Sorry, Car.
This is
no, it's fine.
drier amber though.
I'll smell them when they come in 2 days.
Oh dang, I forgot. All right, I'm gonna stop talking about it.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a bottle of this. This is nice. I like that. I like this.
Yeah, I need to check out their other stuff. I have not explored them completely. So
yeah, patchouli is probably in my top 5 favorite notes.
I did know that about you. I'm like, he'll appreciate this one. Yeah. That's awesome.
Fragrance Journey
01
01 is saying what's up.
That's my brother right there.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Robert?
Glad you're on here, bro. You got to bring him on. I used to say I had a unique, eclectic collection, and I prided myself, not anymore. I pride myself on having fragrances that will make people be like, "Yo, what is that?"
Yeah.
Every single time this brother comes on Instagram, I'm like, where'd you get that? Like,
yes, I know.
He has taken that baton and he's gone. He is definitely one that I can say that's my brother, but he got some unique fragrances. Yeah,
the both of you have like created that in me, so I'm like always looking for. You know what's cool about it now? I always looked, but now like I'm stumbling across things that people, I don't know if that happens to you as well.
Yeah, I don't have to look as hard as I used to before, because I'll say this, before, I'll say about 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Not even 7. Is it 7? 2018? Is that 7 years ago?
Yeah.
6.
Okay, so just before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
There was nowhere near as much going on in the fragrance community. The access that we guys have right now to it. Fragrance boutiques were kind of the only way you can get this, because they were kind of the main attraction. You had to go to a fragrance boutique or a standalone like fragrance house and get the fragrance. Now, social media has completely made it a lot more accessible to just be introduced to fragrances. And it's not like, even with my kind of thing, you can't even really, I had to change up the way I presented fragrances, because I can never say, oh, this is super hard to find. You just click the name in and you can find it somewhere. So having to really see that, oh, this fragrance is only sold in like Australia or Japan, and you couldn't get it unless you talk to them. That's kind of like with Graham and Potts. You're not gonna find that here. You're
the only dude I've ever heard talk about that brand.
and they're
And I've looked up reviews too.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple other people mention some stuff, but consistently, like,
I don't want to keep talking about it. Let me show you guys. So this is what Graham and Pot bottles look like. So you can see
Nice.
reflection. This one right here is probably my favorite. This is Royal Llama. This is probably the best gourmand oud fragrance I've ever smelled in my entire life. And like you probably can see, I'm almost done with it. This is a cherry honey fragrance.
yes,
I'm telling you, once this comes available in America, no one's gonna be talking about Lost Cherry and what's Bodacia's cherry fragrance name? Bodacious.
yeah,
Nah, this thing right here, it's just expensive. No, most people are not gonna pay $475 for a fragrance they can't smell. So that's the only
that is a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the tariffs, what's gonna happen now with the shipping and all that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert said, yeah, they were nice, but I can't get that retail. And then, oh, cool. Yeah, Robert, drop your scent of the day. Esteban joined. Just wanted to say what's up to Esteban. And then he said his scent of the day is Troop by Capsule Parfumery, which he was actually just telling me about earlier today. So I'm looking forward to checking them out. Cool, man. So we're going to move over to Baby Rose, which was, we'll get Carlos to kind of tell us about that album. The name of the album is called Slow Burn.
All right. So, yeah. So this is Baby Rose, Slow Burn, that she collaborated with. This is produced and instruments played by Bad Bad Not Good, which is a trio from Canada. Really cool trio. So yeah, I didn't even know about Baby Rose at all, but my DJ friend Sergio let me know about her and this album, and yeah, so it's just really cool.
Hey,
I don't really even know how to describe the album. This was one of my favorite albums of last year.
Real quick, Bad Bad Not Good. Did they not do like collaborations with what hip hop group?
They did one with Ghostface Killah.
Yes, that's the guys from Wu-Tang. The guys from Wu-Tang. And Raekwon?
They did someone else, I believe, as well.
Yeah. Okay, that's where. All right.
Yeah.
I like
So yeah,
album cover. Is she in the train?
Is she in the train?
In the subway?
I believe so. Yes, it looks like it.
Okay. I have a little side piece. Both of them albums are sold out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Went on Bandcamp. I'm like, man, that's just wrong.
Robert's wearing Ariza Legrand's Gentry Jockey Club.
All right.
Nice.
So I'm gonna play this one.
Carlos, can you turn it up? Oh, there you go.
It's all the way up.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Right through the highs and lows, go through things that no one knows, can try to let you know. You know it's world time. Give me one last Now you're here looking good as ever. Only things have changed. Didn't think I'd see you. You'll be alright. You'll never see me again.
Yeah. Both of those ones are actually not even album. The last one, Pale J, and that one are both EPs, so they're not even full length albums. But to me they're amazing.
At first, I didn't know it was a female until I saw the. I think it was the second track.
Oh, okay.
I was like, wait, I think that's the voice was so raw and deep.
Yeah.
She has a feature on there, but it doesn't say it on the EP. But there
Okay.
is a female singing on one of the other tracks. But you want to go? I don't want to.
No, you go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah, I liked her album. I'm not sure if I liked it more than the first one. There were more songs that were a little bit more on the sadder side.
Yeah.
where I'm like, I'm not sure how I feel about, I mean, there's a time for every type of album. But I did enjoy Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I liked Slow Burn. That was probably the song that fit it fit the fragrance, because I was struggling trying to find a fragrance that matched.
Yeah.
So I kept going back to this one. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is from what I got from Slow Burn. It was a kind of a good and bad relationship, and she didn't know how to kind of balance the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some good times and there was some bitter times in a relationship.
Yeah.
And the first thing I thought about is, and I'm not sure if you guys can relate to this. Let's say you had an argument with your significant other, you didn't reconcile, you wake up and you're like, let me make some coffee, then we're going to talk about it. Right.
Yeah.
And that was the first thing I did. Is I said, okay, this is Slow Burn. I'm gonna roast some coffee, and this is the fragrance that reminded me of that kind of mindset of roasted coffee. It's called Toma Zouma by Motif Olfactif, and this fragrance has this is probably number 2 out of my favorite coffee fragrances, depending on what season it is. It is a heavily dark roasted coffee with kind of a, if you can imagine, and I think I said this in a review, brewing roasted coffee beans on those old iron skillets under like raw wood,
Mm-hmm.
and then just kind of letting it sit outside and brew naturally. And the slow kind of burn that kind of I guess is related to the song is this thing lasts forever, but it gradually gets better from the opening, right? You're gonna get almost like a, a dark chocolate roasted smoky coffee bean with some woody tones, but this one is very unique because Oswald, the creator of the brand, took coffee beans from his native country in Africa. So this is an African coffee bean native to his village. And the story behind it is that kind of missing home kind of vibe. When he was in his village, this coffee bean was kind of the only coffee that they would kind of brew. So going back home and smelling it kind of gave him that vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, this thing is it doesn't smell like any coffee I've ever smelled before, but I definitely get that brewing coffee, almost dark chocolate, bittersweet smell with the woody tones in the dry down, heavily woody tones.
And this is a gorgeous coffee fragrance, man. I love it. And like you mentioned, the outdoor aspect of it, like you pick that up from somehow that gets communicated in the fragrance, like this outdoor vibe.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Dude, he killed it with this.
Yeah, it's good.
I would say this is more. If he said 225 for this, I still would have purchased it.
Yeah.
I was surprised that he made it so available and affordable. I don't know what he used for whatever notes, but the packaging, this is a metal top. This is a solid bottle. You can see like there's a whole like half-inch glass before you can get to the fragrance.
Yeah.
This is a metal plaque. I was like, did he just give the fragrance away?
Right. And this is one of his regular ones. Like it's not like a limited edition. Like he stocks this.
Yeah, you can get this. I would say if you love coffee, you're gonna be mad because whatever you loved before, you ain't gonna love it no more. This is fantastic. This is absolutely fantastic.
I love it, man.
Slow burn definitely was like, yeah, this is it.
So I went like a completely different direction in my thinking. So I love the fact that you took a track and went with that track. So I found Baby Rose unusual. Mm-hmm. She was like, it was such an unusual sound. The music sounded soulful, but at the same time it sounded like theatrical or orchestral, like almost like a performance. And I thought, who is this old lady, Baby Rose, that's singing this song? Because I thought she was an older chick, and then I saw the picture, and I'm like, what? That's her? Yeah. So it was completely different. And so I thought, like, what this combination of like, and you're right, like these songs were like on the sadder side, but they had this theatrical kind of orchestral thing, like I mentioned, and then you have this older voice, but there's like this infusion of like, you could tell that there's a young vibe to the overall composition of the album. Yeah. So I went with this one that I don't hear that many people talk about, but it's a Nishane fragrance, and it's Unutamam. And this is by a perfumer his name is Miguel Matos.
Okay. And you said Nishane?
Yeah, Nishane.
Can I get the top off? Goodness gracious.
But this is it's so unusual. Like to me, like you have these heavy, smoky qualities, and then you have some greens with some florals, and then you got this caramel note, which is quite prominent to me.
Okay, is this gonna light my whole room up right now?
It's pretty strong, man.
All right,
so just a little bit about Nishane. They're the first niche brand based out of Istanbul. This fragrance was released in 2019, again perfumed by Miguel Matos, and the notes are rosemary and mint, juniper, lavender, oregano, which I pick up a lot of oregano in it, patchouli, jasmine, amber, carnation. Then it gets animalic with the castoreum. Then there's oak moss, caramel, and labdanum.
So there's a whole lot going on right now.
Yes, right? And so that's how I felt about her album. I felt like it was all these things that shouldn't go together, but somehow do.
This is weirdly pleasant. That is strange.
But it shouldn't be, right? Like it's kind of like it works, but like you're like, why is this working? It should not work.
It smells. Did you say labdanum?
Yeah, there's labdanum in the base.
It's almost like a, I don't know if it's like brass or a metallic smell.
Oh, that he does that in a lot of his fragrances, and it probably is the oregano and the mints and rosemary and stuff, because rosemary can sometimes, depending on how they manipulate it, can come out metallic. Yeah,
that is weirdly strange.
It's bizarre, right?
Okay, now I gotta put it on my hand. God, I hope I don't regret this right now.
Before bed.
I know, right? No, I'm gonna do it because I want to see how this smells. Because paper, yeah, I get it, but
yeah,
I want to see. All right,
Carlos, you'll have to message us when they come in and be like, "Oh, I can get it," or
Okay.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, that's totally different on the hand. Okay, if y'all smell this on paper, that doesn't smell like this. This smells good on hand. That's still weird though.
It's still weird though. Yeah.
It's very like herbal and metallic, and then there's the spices. It's weird. Like it's pleasant. Okay, you ever smell the spice? It's like a spice cabinet.
Yep.
Or
Mhm.
yeah, so that vibe with something sweet and that metallic, and yeah, I don't think I've smelled a lot of fragrances. But yeah, that fits though, definitely.
And nobody ever talks about this ever. I hardly ever see. And you know what's interesting? The metallic that you talk about, I get it, but I get it. It feels like it's underneath stuff. It doesn't feel like it's up on top.
No, it's not. That the spices, whatever that the oregano, it almost smells like if it was like maybe I would say a blend between like oak moss and what is it that I'm trying to get to?
There's oak moss in there for sure.
It is oak moss.
Yeah.
Okay. So is that, and there's another like kind of like nutmeg.
Okay.
So that is the metallic is under that, but it's not like super metallic. It's like if you ever smell like a penny, like
Yeah.
like that's almost that smell I get.
Yeah.
But that's nice. It's I'm weird like that though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Carlos, I'd love to hear what did you think about the Toma Zouma, the Motif Olfactif, the coffee.
Oh yeah. I don't have the nose that you guys do, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm having a hard time actually picking up the coffee.
It's more like a roast, like a coffee roast.
Yeah. If you think of, I would say, think of it like this: instead of coffee being poured in a cup, think of it as the leftover grinds of the coffee, and it's got like a woody tone over it.
But yeah, it's very pleasant. I really like I like it.
And it's to be honest, when I smelled the coffee, I was like, we don't have this type of coffee bean, because most coffee beans definitely have kind of a freshness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This does not. It doesn't have a freshness to it. It almost smells like it's old, but that woody burning kind of smell with that chocolate vibe.
Yeah,
that's just.
So
another fragrance.
Yeah, I almost get I almost get the chocolatiness a little bit more. Yeah.
Robert says he likes that Nishane actually, and he says Matos creates some unique compositions, and he does. he's definitely out of the box with
I'm
what he
interested in seeing what this smells like on a dry down. That's gonna be. I'm gonna leave this on my hand.
Yeah. All right, Carl. We're moving on to NxWorries. Why Log?
All right. So this is an album with Anderson .Paak and I forget his Knowledge. I think his name is Knowledge. But yeah, they did.
Like it's funny. I'm here. I hear you laughing.
No, because I'll just say. So I called him. I listened to it. He's like, "What?" He's like, "What do you think of that album?" I'm like, "It's pretty cool." It kind of reminded me of that guy that did the album with Bruno Mars. What's his name? And then he said Anderson .Paak. And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And I didn't know he was on the album.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably why it reminded me of him. But.
So Anderson .Paak and Knowledge. I think they did one before. I'm forgetting what it was called though. But this is a new one. It came out last year, and it's an album that just kind of transition. It has lots of tracks, and transitions between different moods and different vibes, but kind of still cohesive, I believe, all together as one album. So yeah,
definitely, yeah.
Nick is the top 5 lister, double S drifter, separate sipping, and you know I came with it. She cute with the lips shut, and tits like missiles. Act right, you can get the knee size, Centra, nickel 9, gripper for all you jack rippers. The drivers, I got a license, they itch ya. Hop up out the pot and get your top rhyme licked up. New soft. She wanna know where I've been, if you see me. She wanna know where I've been, if me. She say I'm so terrible.
So yeah, it's just a small taste of. There's lots of tracks on there, so
Yeah. It I so I'll go ahead and run with this one, I guess. So when I thought of a lot of the music was a lot like it reminded me of Tony back in the day.
okay.
And so it was cool. Like it didn't go as it was kind of refreshing in a way that it didn't go as far back as maybe some like the other albums kind of harken back to times that were, further back in history.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of cool that it had more like there's obviously the one with Snoop was geared to sound more like something from the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was very evident. But I did like the overall like blend of the music. I thought that it had a smooth but raw quality to it, like the album overall.
Yeah.
Let me see what else I got. Yeah. Yeah, raw and it yeah, so I picked a fragrance kind of based around that. I picked a fragrance that had some smooth qualities that but there was this amped up aspect to the fragrance. And it's similar to it's not much different from the one we just tried, Unutamam, but it's not as odd. It's not as kind of unusual. The ingredients seem like they work together better, but there's this kind of overdose of some ingredients, but a smoothness that kind of is the underlying thing. So, and that fragrance that I picked it's called Impératrice La Vanille, and it's by a brand called Mirads Parfums. And this is to me, it's a leathery, smoky, leathery vanilla. And the perfumer on this is the exact same perfumer that did the last one. So you'll see they're kind of like, it feels like they might be siblings in a way. Anyway, the notes on this are saffron, Divana, plum, cypriol, vanilla, coconut, amber, sugar, musk, Peru balsam, civet, and then that caramel is in this as well. But it feels like these ingredients are amped up. They're pretty loud, and like it has a raw kind of quality to it too. So that's that aspect of the album. I was kind of the amped up ingredients and the rawness, from the civet and the loud ingredients that they got. But Mirads Parfums, they're Zambian based fragrance house.
Okay.
That the chick that started it, her name, you might know her. She's a YouTuber as well. Mia, Fab Finds by Mia.
Yeah.
So she launched her own house, and this is her stuff.
Oh.
And
okay.
So yeah, this was launched in 2022, and again, the perfumer is Miguel Matos. So yeah, she lives in London, but I know that the whole fragrance house was based out of. She's from Zambia, right? So a lot of the ingredients and the stories behind the fragrances harken back to Zambia. But.
Well, I can tell you that this is everything you said. I agree with. What stands out to me is it's a very dry, gourmand fragrance.
Yeah,
it's you wouldn't categorize this as a gourmand if you just smelled it in kind of no, but
right.
There is that vanilla. If you're saying rawness, I'm getting either a vanilla powder or the raw vanilla kind of coming out of that
The vanilla bean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is, and it's something that's giving off like a suede or leather kind of smell too.
Yeah, and it like I get that too, and I don't know. I think it's got to be the cypriol. I know that cypriol is used sometimes to create leather accords. So I'm assuming that's the cypriol or the nagar. They call it nagamatha sometimes.
Yeah, this is absolutely stunning. It's definitely winter vibes,
Yeah,
but yeah, I like that. I like that I can smell, and I know that the vanilla is. It says it's in the dry down, but I smell that immediately.
yeah, yeah. It did say it's in the dry down. Oh yeah, closer to the dry down.
Yeah, but that's. Did you say caramel? Did you say
Caramel,
caramel?
caramel. Yeah,
And that's in the dry down also.
yeah, yeah. That's the last ingredient he listed. So
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah, that's nice. I really do like that.
yeah. She did a phenomenal job.
That one wouldn't throw a girl off. If I wore this around my wife, she wouldn't trip.
No. The other one is weird. She would be like, "What the hell are you?"
What are you doing? That's my personal area right here. Or when I'm with my guy friends.
That's cool. So what'd you get? I want to hear like what your thoughts were on it.
To be honest, the album, it wasn't really the vibe that I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
It really sounded more like in a mixture between kind of neo soul child trying to do like spoken poetry, and the beats were mellow, right? And then it seemed like they were trying to get like, is you ever see someone like press the gas and then come off of it, like, wait, you're going too fast? And it just that kind of tempo for me made me think. I was like, yo, you if someone was drinking or they were high, they would love this. I was like, I don't drink anymore, right? So I'm like, if I have my whiskey, I'll be all in this.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I was trying to find songs that I like, but even what you were saying, I was like, that voice is so familiar. Who is that?
Yeah.
I couldn't, and now you said, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So for me, I didn't really like the tempo of the album and the fact that it kept going. Like, I kept feeling like I was going to do this, and then another song came on, and I was like, okay, this. Oh, and I was like, oh, back to it. So I picked. It's not a bad album. Don't get me wrong. It's not.
Yeah.
It is. It's a good album. I think that I was just anticipating something else.
Right.
Yeah.
I think if you had a listening party and you put that on, you can still kind of chill and listen to music and have conversations.
Right. Yeah.
There'll be songs that come on and everybody will probably be quiet because they want to hear it.
Yeah.
But like I said, and I'm not promoting this at all, this is just the comedian inside of me. If you were in this, if you were listening to this music and you had a little bit, you'd be. Don't do that though. I'm not saying do that.
You're not advocating.
Yeah. But I paired it with fragrance called Cannabis.
Okay.
By my Geisha. So
it's called Cannabis by My Geisha.
Yeah, well, yeah. The fragrance house is My Geisha. The fragrance is called Cannabis.
Okay.
Yeah. So I only have a sample. That's why I didn't give you guys a full bottle a full sample because I only had that much.
Yeah.
But that one, I was like, yo, what psychedelic fragrance do I have in here That's what make compare this with. And I don't have any. I don't. Well, everything I have that would have some type of crazy note to it didn't fit the vibe. But let me go because I don't know the notes off the top of my head. Let me look it up real quick. But
That's interesting.
what I can, I mean, I'll let you can tell me what you think of the fragrances, and then I'll read the notes, and then I'll tell you what I think.
So, now I don't use this term. Like I say, it has a little dirtiness, and I don't use that in a bad way. I like a little bit of dirtiness in my fragrance, but it has like
my Geisha.
A dirty quality to it, and I would suspect that maybe there's ambergris at play. It smells like that, but that could be very well the cannabis, to be honest.
My Geisha.
And it has fruits. It smells like maybe a melon of some sort. It's lighter.
There is a fruit in here.
It's the fruit's not very up front. It feels like it's kind of laying back a little bit.
So I'll give you.
Oh, the woods are nice. It's a nice clean woods.
The green notes in here are at the top. And I'm going to read off of both websites. I'm on Fragrantica right now. So you get
go for it.
Green notes, you get tobacco, woody notes, coffee, agarwood, and incense, right? That's Fragrantica. That's a 60-40 for me.
That's
their note breakdown, because sometimes they just kind of be making up their own stuff. But the website.
This is super interesting, man.
I really liked it. I when I smelled it at first, I was like, I'm not getting the kind of cannabis or green or smokiness. And then literally 15 minutes, I was like, oh, okay, this is a sweet cannabis. It's sweeter. It's almost like you had a soft drink like lemonade or some type of maybe mixture of lemon and lime juice, and then you had either someone smoking cannabis by you, because it gave me that sweet lemon or sweet citrus vibe, and then that almost the cannabis bud, but it wasn't smoky, so it didn't have like a lit kind of weed.
But you get the smoke, like
a little bit.
You could get incense. I think that's what. Yeah, I think any smoke that you do get comes from incense.
Yeah, I would say that if people are expecting it to have the kind of blunt smell with the paper, no. I think the incense definitely it comes in early into the mid, heavily, but it had that sweetness that I really liked. Let's see what their website says, because they're very and they said this is the bestseller. Wow.
Kind of reminds me of a fragrance that me and you smelled, Josh, when we were in New York, and we went to that. Went to that one place.
Argentinian.
Yeah. So this on the website, it literally says the three notes that are in here are cannabis, oud, and tobacco.
That's it?
That's all they said.
What?
I don't agree with that though, because there's something.
Yeah, there's fruit in here, bro.
Yeah. I'm gonna spray this on because I wanna. Yeah, this is nice. I think I might get me a full bottle of this because
it's so unique. So unique.
Yeah.
What what is the brand about? Do you know anything about the brand?
Yeah. So how can I put it? The place where are they from? Let me go back to the website, because the best way I can put it is they are it's not Russian. It's
like Eastern European?
Yeah. Okay. But they have their fragrances are very Middle Eastern influence. So
Yeah.
they take a lot of the Middle Eastern influence, and then they sprinkle a little bit of, I think it's, I'm not going to say Istanbul. Let me go back because I know that the website, um, Romania. That's what it is. I think it's
Oh yeah.
Romania. Yes. So Romania. I'm pulling up right now. Yes. Yes. So Romania is where they're from. But I went to Sin Explore last year, and they had like 30 fragrances on their line, right? And let me get one of the bottles just to show you guys what the bottle is.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So if you guys saw my Instagram today, I actually wore one of their fragrances called Foreplay today.
Okay.
But this is what the bottle.
Nice.
That's a nice bottle.
And nice bottle, heavy cap. The sprayer is good. If you want a beast mode fragrance, this one you can check out. I don't know if you can see that. It's called Overdose.
Okay.
This is like leather and like leather, wood, smoke. Like someone literally took brown sugar, put it in a leather jacket, and then threw it in a fire. And then
Okay.
that's what it smells like. I was like, yo, what is this? The first time I smelled this, I'm not lying to you, I would say, why would someone make this? And then 15 minutes later, I forgot that I had sprayed it on. And I'm like, yo, what is that smell? It smells like really good. Like, what is that?
And it was you.
Yeah, it was like, yo, it's you. What are you talking about? I was like, yo, is that ever? And then I went back and smelled it again. That's weird. Like the olfactory senses, like if you're not used to something, your brain is like on overload, right?
Yeah.
So I smelled it and I let it kind of sit, and I came back to it the next day, and it completely changed my mind. I was like, is this what happens to people when you think you smell really good, but everybody else is like, yo, you smell horrible? And I was scared of that. I brought it to my job, and I let another guy smell it. And he was like, yo, I need a bottle of that. I was like, okay, so that's legit because his taste is kind of
Wow.
similar to mine. I was like, okay. But the brand, super cool, affordable. I think their bottles are like from like 145 to like 175.
Yeah.
And some people hate. You get that because when you get someone with an opinion about a brand, someone commented and said something like, "Oh, you're just buying a bunch of Middle Eastern fragrances. It's something in that realm.
Right.
They just buy their fragrances from the Middle East. They don't really do nothing with it." And my argument was like, do you even realize how big the Middle East is? So you're telling me that you smelled every single fragrance that the Middle East has to offer?
Yeah.
I was like, come on. Even if this company did do that, I haven't experienced it. So I want to share it with people on my channel that I know haven't experienced it. And I know my nose is pretty good where I can smell heavily synthetic fragrances that are crap versus something that has quality.
Yeah.
I would urge you guys to go check it out. I mean, you guys can smell the cannabis.
Yeah.
So
No, that's good.
yeah, I liked it. I just
Super interesting. Like Esteban said, it sounds interesting. I'm like, that's almost super interesting.
Yeah. Foreplay, overdose, and I'll get you one more. So I really don't want to show y'all this though. I was trying to gatekeep this one. I'm joking. I've shown this on my channel probably like 5 times already, but this right now is probably no, it is. It's in the league to be the best discovery of 2025.
Dude, I just read your post on that on Instagram today.
Yeah. This is.
And what's that one called?
This one is called Secret of Geisha. This is Infinite Touch. Just go look up the notes. Look up the notes on this.
All
right. I'm for your followers, the people that are watching this. I really don't want to show y'all this, but this is everything that I've smelled in the last 4, almost 5 months. I'm literally comparing it to this. Second Second would be this right here. Only reason this isn't really doing that, like, oh, I need to tell people about this, or I don't go for it every time because it feels like it has to be like a unique occasion that I can wear that.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah. But this right here, like if I'm in like not a really good mood, I'm throwing this on. If I'm going out with my wife, if I just bought a new outfit, I'm putting this on. This thing,
Very cool.
and it's beast mode right now, and it's gonna about to be like 90 degrees in a couple months. I'm still gonna wear that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy to have it be the standard for 4 to 5 months. That's quite a statement, man.
Nothing. I mean, and I'm trying to find something. The only thing that I think will beat that, I don't have it in my collection yet, is Outland by
by Amouage.
That's the only thing that possibly.
I've heard that's incredible, dude.
I think I insulted Cecile, bro. Like I was at the. I don't say I insulted her. I think that she was like surprised that I didn't know what she was wearing. Like I did an interview with her and I was having a conversation after the interview was over, and it just was wafting past me. Now, granted, the fragrance just came out.
Right.
I know she made it, but I'm not thinking she's wearing her fragrance. I don't know why. But I was like, wow, you smell fantastic. What are you wearing? She looked at me with like the, what do you mean what am I wearing? I'm wearing outwear. And I was like, oh yeah, okay, my bad.
She started looking through you.
Yeah, I was like, because I think that her mindset was like, what else would I be wearing right now? And I was like, that makes sense. But that thing, Trail, she had on.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was her just her overall aura.
Yeah.
But every single person she ran past in earshot of me asked her what she had on.
That's a good problem, man, when you're a perfumer, right?
Yeah. And most perfumers don't wear their stuff.
No, that's why I thought it was a valid question, because most don't at all.
I guess she's not,
she's not one of those.
Yeah. But that's the only one, like Outland. And this one isn't even, I think this fragrance is like 180 or 175.
Oh, that's not even bad, bro.
Nah. And I don't know if it's coming off the camera, but this right here, this is a whole graphic plate right here. This is edged with different colors and different fonts.
Yeah.
And I was like, just the plate alone, I'm like, how are you making something that unique for only 175? I'm not saying 175 is cheap. It's just not $450 like Outland.
Right. Yeah. A guy in the comments, Yak Lamone, says you should try V Cial from Fragrance World. It's the best Tigar clone ever.
See, you messed up. This ain't my channel. I'm not even gonna go there. Okay, if you guys
can your opinions, bro. There's nothing wrong with opinions.
Have you guys seen Mason Francis Kirschjohn's latest post?
No.
Okay, so he shares the same kind of feelings I do when it comes to clones.
Okay.
I don't support that. I don't support someone taking someone else's creation, making the same thing, and then renaming it, and then just putting cheaper ingredients in it, because you can make something smell good and exact for 15 to 20 minutes, or let's say an hour, and then it's gone, or it smells completely different.
Yeah.
I just think that, this is just my opinion. I think that if you create something and it took you a year, 2 years, 5 years to create something, and then someone else takes an hour to a month to steal that creation and then make a profit off of it, that's stealing to me. I'm not going to support that.
No, I'm of the same mindset. I don't buy clones.
And you mess up when you do that, right? If you buy clones, there's two things that's happening. You're decreasing the value of the actual thing called niche, and you're gonna most likely run the business, that perfumer or that company out of business, because if you keep saturating the world with cheaper things, then how are these people going to sustain their business? Because we're the customers, right? We're going to buy
Yeah.
it. If you ain't got the money, you do what you want, right? I just think that if I can't afford um, Rolls Royce, I'm not going to go get a Chrysler 300. I just won't get the Rolls Royce.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, people have to do what they want with their money, right? Like we can't dictate that to them. But me personally, people ask me, well, what makes you so interested in fragrance? Well, I'm interested in the artistic approach. You probably picked up on that just from the 3 that I sent you. Like they're very artistic. Like people aren't going to be. Most people wouldn't gravitate to these, and that's who I am. And so, if there's a really great fragrance that blows up, that has beautiful artistry behind it, like that is, and theft. And in a way, in the fragrance world, like we're talking about music too, right? Like in music, you can actually go after them for stealing your, if they don't pay to license a sample or sample it or whatever, you can go after them. In the perfume world, there's nothing you can do.
You can't. They're trying. They're like I'm actually going to do a video about that after a few of my videos I put up. But it just overall, like for me, once again, like you said, which you do what you want with your money. Well, whoever or whatever you support, I mean, that's your privilege. I just, and I don't want to sound like a hypocrite either, because I can't afford platinum, right? I can't afford, a neck full of diamonds either, right? But I can afford white gold and I can afford silver. So I can go buy a silver chain or, you know, some cubic zirconian earrings. Yes, I can. But I'm not going to say I got these from Tiffany's.
Right.
I'm not going to say that, yeah, this is a Rolex. No, I'm a rock a gold watch with that brand, but to call it something is not.
Right.
Just,
there's a lack of authenticity there, huh?
Yeah, it's just weird. And then the way that MFK was passionate about it, I just felt it. I was like, man. And it's weird to say, why you feeling sorry for someone that's wealthy? That doesn't matter. It's just the idea of you. This guy went to school. He took his time to study. He went through all the hardships of creating it or being an apprentice for other brands before he was able to branch out and make his own.
Yeah.
And there were hundreds of other ones that like that. And then they decided to cut the corners and say, "Oh, I can still make money." In my mind, I'm going with that. Like, I couldn't imagine making something and someone took that and made more money with it. And then I can't do nothing about it.
Now, so I have more of an appreciation. I forget what the dude's name is, but he's in, I think, the United Arab Emirates.
Mm-hmm.
And you could take a fragrance to him that maybe you've had and you no longer have and you can't find. Mm-hmm. If you have a little bit, he could recreate it for you. But he does that on the fly. Mm-hmm. He doesn't market it as something it's not. Mm-hmm. You're going to him for a service and he's providing it. So I have an appreciation kind of for that. But when these guys are throwing it into a machine and they get all of the data on what exactly is in there, and then they just make variations and call it a day.
You can't get some of them. I don't mind that, what you were saying about the guy. Like, because right now, if you're saying that this fragrance is no longer available, right? This fragrance that I love is the fragrance company went out of business or retired, or they cannot find the materials to make that specific fragrance, right?
Yeah.
Majority of the time, the company will discontinue your fragrance because a note or a couple of notes got banned or they can't get the resources.
Yeah.
Now, that means that now we're substituting it with some type of synthetic, which, don't get me wrong, synthetics are good if you get a quality synthetic. And I can appreciate that because that's not, like you said, that's not stealing. You're not renaming it. You're providing a service that no longer is available.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So Blue Sapphire from Bodicea, they decided tomorrow, oh, we can't do this anymore.
You'll
Right?
be hitting that guy up.
Yeah, I'm like, hey, this fragrance no longer exists. You're not taking any money out of their pocket.
Right.
How much you going to charge me to create this again, or at least close to it, because it has, some significant value to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, cool. Whatever your price is, I'm gonna give it to you because who else is gonna do it?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, man. Well, let me see. Oh, Carlos said he'll be right back.
Yes, I'm back.
Hey, Esteban, thanks for joining, bro. Yeah, man, appreciate you, bro. I'll be reaching out. Yeah, man, thanks so much for coming on. I just want to give you guys a chance to, do you guys have anything new and upcoming on your channels? Just give you guys a chance to promote kind of what's going on. So, yeah, Rome, if you have some stuff we should be looking out for, let us know.
well, I'll do this. Give me 1 second. All right, so if you guys watch my channel, you know that I'm big in my faith. I'm a Christian, a believer in Christ. So the one thing I always try to say to people is it's never too late. You can, if you're lost, if you're not, if you're lost in your journey, if you don't know, what to do, if your life is not where you wanted it to be, it's a reason why that's happening. And most of the time, I'm not gonna say most, 99% of the time is because you don't have a relationship with Christ. And I would urge you guys, if you're struggling with, you know, any mental health, if you're struggling with finances, if you're struggling with your spiritual journey, I would ask you guys to have faith and ask our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ to come into your life. I would also say that the the world is really strange right now in a way where bad seems good and good seems bad. The righteous thing to do seems corny, seems lame, and everybody's promoting this idea that you don't need God. And I'm here to tell you that um, the devil is a liar, he is a deceiver, and he is here to steal your soul. And I want to read you this um, scripture from the Bible because I really don't want you to take my word. I want you to go and look this up yourself. These are from Ephesians chapter 6. And this is Ephesians chapter 6, verse 11. It says, put on the full armor of God so that you will be able to stand firm against the schemes of the devil. And I take this very strongly to say, if you don't know the word, if you don't read the Bible, if you don't pray, if you don't ask the questions, uh, you're going to be susceptible to being deceived by God. I mean, by the devil and the workers of the devil. His prime focus is to steal you away from heaven and God. He wants you to suffer like he is. So I would say, get into your Bible, go to church, and pray. The second verse I would say that goes along with that, and this one is a little bit more deeper. It says, for the struggles It's not against the flesh and the blood, but against the rulers, against the powers, against the world forces of this darkness, against the spiritual forces of wickedness in the heavenly places. That's Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. And just a kind of a small synopsis of what I got from that is the distractions of this world is to deceive you. The distractions that we consider to be important are not. The flesh and the blood are things that we look for, like our desires. Like we desire to have pleasure, to be wealthy, to be rich, to be successful, to be popular. And I'm not saying everyone. I'm just saying that majority of people tend to lead with emotions and lead with their flesh. And they're distracted by that. And God is telling us the rulers of the darkness, the schemers, this Satan's work is right in front of you. It's on TV, it's in your house, it's at your job. And if you don't understand what to look out for, you're going to be trapped in those snares. And by the time you figure out that you're in his grasp, it's going to be really hard to get out. So going back to Ephesians 11, if you put on the full armor, staying in the word, you'll be covered by God's word, meaning you'll be prepared and be able to see these things before they snatch you away from him. So
Absolutely.
That was a little long, but
no, that's dope. Yeah, I didn't realize you stopped drinking completely. So it's cool that, because I remember you used to drink, and then I remember that you had mentioned I'm not drinking, but I didn't know how long that had been. How long has it been, if you don't mind me asking?
It was a year in February.
Oh, all right. Congratulations, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. I mean, and the idea behind the drinking didn't start with just drinking. It was, I got saved at 27, right? But I wasn't leading a righteous lifestyle, right? And I started to see my life go into a world of desire, fleshly desire. I wanted to be everything under the moon of what God completely does not value as righteous.
Right.
And the reason why I didn't know this is because I believed in Christ. I believed that he died on the cross for our sins, but I didn't put on the full armor of God. I mean, I probably read maybe a chapter or two in the Bible at that point. So I didn't understand what he was asking of me. And I'm not saying I understand fully now. I just took the time and said, I want to read the Bible fully. I'm going to commit to going to church, and I'm going to pay my tithes, and I'm going to listen to him and open my eyes and my ears to see what's going on, what's really happening in the world. And I saw myself as a comedian worshiping and praising people to make them laugh, to get the praise back for myself, and I wasn't glorifying God in any way. I mean, at the end of my comedy shows or my sets, I would say, keep God first in your life, keep laughing, as a kind of a gesture. Then that mindset, I was like, man, I'm saying F-bomb every other word. I'm talking about sex. I'm talking about drinking. Everything that I'm doing is to make myself more money, but I'm dragging myself closer to hell doing it.
Yeah,
So I made a decision. What are these things that's keeping me here? It was the profanity, and it was the drinking.
Yeah.
Those things, I asked God to take them from me. And don't get me wrong, I'm still working on myself. I just try to, and my pastor said this. He said, whatever you did, do it less. And the less you do it, the less you'll want to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure, man. No, and I've been catching. I love the fact you pray now after after your stuff. I've noticed that. So, yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. I really value. I'm a man of faith as well. So I value that, and the fact that you could just be authentic. You know, that's really cool. And, yeah.
I'm trying. It's a journey, man. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I mean, my story is not unique from anybody else that struggles with fleshly desires. I'm just trying to make it not so awkward to tell people. Someone said that to me recently. I was trying to talk to someone about God, and he wasn't a believer in Christ. He was kind of this idea that, I mean, you live and you just kind of be a good person and then you die and then that's it. That's the end of your story.
Yeah.
And then I said to him, I said, but what if you're wrong? I said, like, what if you have the opportunity to change your life? Would you rather bet on the fact that there is a nothingness, or there is an eternal heaven of paradise? Like, which one sounds like it's a better deal?
Yeah.
And he said something that struck me odd. He was like, I don't see Christians doing this a lot. He said that I appreciate what you're doing, but I don't see Christians talking about their faith to other people to try to bring them in. And I was like, that's kind of a distraction. I was like, well, now you found one. Yeah. But that was weird to hear that. I was like, man, maybe, I mean, I know there are. I've seen in my own time, I've seen Christians walk up to me and say stuff. But
for sure.
that's our job, man. Our job is to evangelize, to disciple.
That's beautiful, man. Well, thank you for sharing that. Carlos, did you have any closing things to say or anything?
Nothing like that.
Yeah, you upstaged us, bro.
No. Oh man.
Yeah, there's nothing really happening with my channel right now.
No, are you gonna? So one thing I will tell everyone, and I'll say it to kind of put pressure on him. He used to create these really cool series called Spotlights on different artists in the music industry, whether it be a producer or a recording house or artists. And you go check out his Spotlights. They're really cool. At As the Table Turns on YouTube.
Yeah.
I want you to get these albums or check these out. You got a turntable. You are you familiar with acoustic sounds?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So you know about the UHQRs.
Yep.
All right. So I don't have to tell you about that. All right. With this, get this.
That's a good album.
Oh yeah, I have that one.
Oh, you have it. Okay.
Yeah.
You have the 45 or the 33?
I have the 33.
I'm telling you, I don't know what they did on the 45, bro.
Yeah. I know they make that thing sound great. I have that UHQR.
Yeah, but
I have another one, or I have the mobile fidelity ones too, the one steps. So
which one you like better?
I mean, they're both. I mean, it just depends on the album.
Okay.
Because mobile fidelity, I believe they put that they're very bass heavy in a lot of what they do. The UHQRs are, I think have a bit of an edge over the one steps, but yeah,
I think Bernie Grumman uses tube gear.
Yeah.
So,
and him and Kevin Gray have been basically mastering everything lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we gonna definitely keep in contact.
Yeah, definitely.
This journey is in vinyl. That's even more niche.
Oh, I know. Well, I don't know. Yeah, I guess is the fragrance community bigger than you would say bigger than the vinyl community on YouTube?
I would think that it's more popular because it's more accessible.
Okay.
Like, fragrance.
Yeah.
When I talk to vinyl people, they'd be like, "Oh, the stuff that used to be on that '70s." I'd be like, "Vinyl still exists, man."
Yeah.
but more people. I mean, fragrances. You go to Macy's, you can go to Sears.
That's true.
That's
true.
Yeah. If you don't have Do you have a turntable?
Yep. Yeah, right
No,
there.
No, I don't.
Joshua, you got no,
No.
bruh. $200, $300 turntable right now sounds better than the $2,000 turntable 7-8 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get U-turn or you can get a Riga. I know that's probably sound like weird to you, but U-turn for a Riga turntable between $250 to $500 with the cartridge and everything. You'll have to set nothing up, and you'll be amazed at how vinyl has transitioned into like the pinnacle of audio right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just you gotta get up and change the record all the time.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool though, like the tactical aspect of it, rather than
Yeah.
just clicking a button.
Yeah.
I like
You
the
lost a
old.
little bit.
I'm old fashioned, so that would resonate with me a bit more as well.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love having the music. Like
Yeah.
that if they shut down Spotify or what is it, Tidal, then all that music that that's mine. I paid month. No, it's not. You just paid for a service.
Yeah. Well, and you don't get any liner notes.
Nope.
You don't see who else plays on the album.
Yep.
Unless they're in the feature, but I mean, even that is like you sometimes don't even put everybody that's featured in a song on there.
Yeah.
So different stuff like that. Yeah, you just don't get with streaming.
Do you do jazz?
Yeah, that's a bulk of my collection.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's too.
Yeah.
It's weird. I go back, and I don't want to sound preachy, right? I went back to my collection of my hip hop, right? And just my journey. DMX, Rakim, Biggie, you can name it, right? All those. And now I have to go through my whole catalog of albums to see which ones that I can actually listen to without cringing now. And that sucks.
Yeah.
I'm over here like ignorance is bliss. You know how that sounds?
Yeah.
But when I tell you I'm listening to music now, and this guy was on Instagram said something, he was like, yo, bro, we are literally listening to psychopath murder music. And he had me cracking up because I was like, what are you talking about? And then I went, because I go to the gym and I'll go lift to like Eric B and Rakim, LL Cool J, and those are good. But then I'll throw on DMX if I'm like really trying to work out.
Yeah.
And now with my new kind of lenses on,
yeah,
I'm like, I'm ready to kill somebody in here. Like he hypes you up. I'm like, I can't listen to this right now. So I'm mad at myself, like, dang, man, I gotta kind of really go through my whole hip hop catalog, not only for my sake, because I want to play my music with my kids in here and want them to know what really good hip hop is, but I don't want them to hear, craziness. So
true.
Jazz, you ain't gotta listen to nobody. It's just music.
Right.
Yeah, I think I watched a couple jazz records you'd open up a couple times on a live, and I would call my brother and be like, hey, do you have this one? He was playing it. It sounds so cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I don't have that one, but I have it was a compilation. And then
okay.
A different one from the same series.
But do you get because I haven't got it yet. I'm trying to get people's information, the new, not Kind of Blue, but the Miles Davis.
Oh yeah, because Acoustic Sounds did the it's like an album that they or sessions that came out like 6 months, or they recorded them 6 months maybe before they recorded the Kind of Blue sessions, but it's the same band. Yeah. I haven't picked that up yet.
I think that might be one of my next ones, because that I have the Kind of Blue, and I'm like, he only made 2,000 copies of that.
Yeah.
And if that gets sold out, they're gonna jack the price up on that.
Yeah. Definitely.
That I'm interested in. I didn't know if I think one other guy that I know personally told me that it's good, but I'm gonna get another opinion.
Yeah. Carlos is trying to downsize a little bit.
Yeah, I'm selling about 500 albums. I have about 500 in my sell pile right now. So,
well, I don't even know. I think I'm at I don't know. I think maybe like 350, something like that.
Okay.
I'm very, very particular about like impulse buying
Yeah,
because that can happen.
that's good. I was not.
That's great restraint, dude.
Oh, don't get me wrong. When I first jumped in this, bro, I was
Yeah.
out here like, and I think it was just the kind of what they call it, was it Mo? No, was it Mo?
FOMO.
FOMO. And that kind of
Definitely.
once Bandcamp came out, that helped me because I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can preview the album like 3 or 4
Yeah.
times, and then by the third time, if I'm not tired of it, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I got at least 20, 30 albums here. I'm like, why did I get this?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But guys, listen,
You have to work tomorrow.
yeah, I gotta be up in like 6 hours.
No,
All right, man. Yeah.
No, man. Thanks for. We went longer than I was anticipating, but we had some good discussion, man. I really appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Just to everyone, thanks for joining. If you can, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna try to catch up to Rome. I'm at 14 now, and I think in a matter of days we got them.
I got you.
And if you can like, comment, and share ideas for the next episode, that'd be great. Love you guys, and have a good night. Peace, everybody.
God bless.
Bye.
Peace.